I have a big announcement. I told you I would have a big announcement, and I do, and I'm so excited. I cannot stop smiling. I want to talk to you about this announcement. It is about the transformation of the essential oils revolution. And the essential oils revolution has been accelerating at an incredible rate. It is an amazing movement of converting fear into freedom for greater health empowerment. As a result, big changes are coming, and especially to the world and to this channel, as well as to my blog and to my newsletter. Now, I'm going to get into all of the changes in a minute, but I want to kind of take you through the history and catch you up to speed. Because aromatherapy's origins and where we're headed, knowing where we're coming from, I think is important. But right now, the popularity of essential oils has gotten immense. I think the worldwide market value in 2022 was over $27 billion, and it's only going to be increasing from there. In fact, the largest global essential oils market is actually in Europe, but North America and Asia Pacific tie for second place. So it is a worldwide phenomenon. And I think for me, one of the biggest excitements is that it is showing that there's this holistic merger between the mind and the body and the spirit, because essential oils actually impact all three of those levels. And this is a synergy that is not often found in our conventional views of medicine that we are applying right now in modern day. And I think it's incredible that essential oils can be used as a bridge that unites this wisdom into this modern consumer healing movement of empowerment for their health. So let's start a little bit and roll back where aromatherapy came from. Its origins and its roots are really deep. It actually has been around since ancient times. The healing and spiritual properties of aromatics as well as essential oils were revered. There are hundreds of biblical references for crude extractions of herbs and oils for cleansing, for purifying, and for restoring the mind and the body. And India, Persia, and Egypt all have a history of employing odorous compounds for the same purposes of, again, this healing and spiritual properties of these compounds and to help alleviate their spirituality, their emotions, and their physical health. Now, the official birth of actual aromatherapy is estimated to be between 6,000 to 3,500 years ago. So when we talk about traditional medicine, it really is more of the ancient traditional medicine to use more natural methods. Our conventional approaches actually came about a lot later in time. Now, when we talk about the essential oils we know today, comparing it to the aromatics and essential oils from back in ancient times is a lot different. We didn't have the precise distillation technology that we have today to get these chemical compounds in such accurate standardized forms, but we did have rudimentary techniques for isolating the fragrant and volatile compounds. The first attempts to actually isolate the volatile compounds were thought to be the alchemists and also by the Arabs. And they actually used extractions of oils by infusing the ethyl alcohol from fermented sugar into their alimentary distillation techniques. And the solvent actually captured the essential oils in place of the fatty oils of the plant. And now, as we move forward in time, we obviously have more technological advances, and the ability to capture these delicate compounds has been transformed, it's been perfected, it's been distributed and marketed by various companies. And it's also being taught to individuals to do for themselves by various experts in aromatherapy schools. So we have greater availability. We have this hook in this ancient modern wisdom, and we have more knowledge and more access to quality essential oils using these perfected techniques. As a result, the clinical use of aromatherapy and its therapeutic applications, because of their profound effect, I believe is why it's becoming a lot more mainstream. Now, I find this, as I said, a beautiful thing because consumers and practitioners at this very moment that I'm speaking to you are in the process of this merger of traditional wisdom with modern science. I love essential oils because they have the chemical constituents and biochemical properties where we can explain their mode of actions by these compounds. And also they have their aromatic property that we know affects psychology, so we can translate this wisdom that we know of this mind-body connection from ancient times into language that conventional medicine understands. It's a really beautiful bridge that's occurring. And there are schisms that do exist in the aromatherapy communities. There's controversies about if we should ingest essential oils, how to use essential oils, when or when not to use a carrier oil, should we ever not use a carrier oil, and safety. And all of that is, of course, going to be the growing pains as something is emerging and evolving. When we grow up, right, even as humans, we go through growing pains and discomfort to eventually emerge in a more comfortable place where we're kind of settled in. And I see that as happening with essential oils. Now, what we do know today is that this old idea that we're just going to inhale a fragrance and it's going to relax us is kind of just the tip of the iceberg with all the research. As you can tell from this channel alone, there's a lot more research in what essential oils can do for our brain, for our physical health, for the whole aspect of our biochemistry, our physiology, and our psychology, right? All of this being said, because it is more mainstream, because it is becoming more popular, it is super important during this time of this revolution and this transformation. That's why I have a butterfly on my shirt, right? We are emerging, is that we have access to resources and education about their safe, reliable use, because that can be hard to decipher. And one of the things I've devoted my time with writing and to looking into the research and reviewing all the research that's available about essential oils is really finding this balance, this delicate balance between honoring its traditional use and also the science and where we can apply that clinically. And so I have always been looking for access to accessible resources also to share to my clients and to people who know I am an essential oils junkie and also who know I love science and clinical applications and want to know where they can find a reliable source. So when I found the Essential Oils Revolution podcast, I was in heaven because it was jam-packed with trustworthy experts. They had certified aromatherapists. There were interviews I was listening to from physicians, holistic practitioners, and even experienced users, right? There's something to be said about people that have that experience and how they're using it personally for themselves and their loved ones. So it was this perfect blend of honoring essential oils roots with this balance of the science. And I just fell in love with it. I started listening to it. I actually listened to a lot of the clinical aromatherapists and practitioners and applied some of their tips, implemented it into my practice and saw results with my clients. And I don't know if it was just in the stars, it was wonderful. I contacted the show to say how wonderful it was. I was a guest on the show and I talked about clinical applications of essential oils. I was thrilled. And then I had a mic drop at the end of my interview for the show because the host, the lovely Samantha Lee Wright, this has been her baby, her creation since 2015. She loves essential oils, told me it was the last episode, the last interview. And I was devastated, dumbfounded. And she's like, well, you'll still have the archives. It'll be fine. I was like, no, this is unacceptable. How can I help? she had just gotten her dream job. I mean, she was doing this podcast as a love, something she wanted to do because she loved essential oils, but she just didn't have the bandwidth to take this dream job and to keep a podcast going because there's a lot to do with a podcast. I said, can I help out? Can I help out with hosting? Can I do something? Long story only, a shortened long story is there was a way I could help out, and I am now hosting the Essential Oils Revolution. I am taking on this podcast that already has substantial growth in followers. And I am honored about this because I will have a platform and you guys will have a platform that is larger to communicate with me about your love of essential oils, topics you want to hear about. I'm going to bring to you various clinical guests, some of my colleagues that use essential oils and have expertise in various areas of naturopathic and functional medicine. It's going to be amazing. I actually did a kind of goodbye episode with Sam in an explanation of all of the changes that are coming in the final episode that's posted right now for Sam on the Essential Oils Revolution. There will be a link in the video description so you can listen to that and hear how kind of this all evolved in more detail. It's only about 20 minutes, but it's a really kismet thing that how this occurred. Because I've always wanted a podcast, but I haven't really had the time to build it or the platform. And here it was going to be handed to me, and I was going to host and bring the content. So very, very exciting. I still want to keep Samantha's intention of providing this health empowerment of a common, comforting place for essential oils lovers all over the world to learn and grow. I'm going to also add in a little bit of my flavor, right? Which is the science, the education, the clinical applications, bringing in some additional guests from, my circle of naturopathic and functional medicine and just talking about that. I also have solo sods, right? So that I can talk directly to you on topics that you're interested and care about with essential oils. So please spread the word that starting September 5th, 2023, there will be a relaunch in the transformation of the Essential Oils Revolution podcast with me as your host and your guide. It is a complete honor. I want feedback. I want all your questions. As a result of this, I have been doing a lot of admin work and arranging guests and interviews and doing the interviews. I love it, right? But because of that, the flavor a little bit, again, of this channel, as well as my blog, is going to shift to really highlighting the topic of the week that we talk about regarding essential oils for the show. There will be the show notes and the actual podcast website, and then there'll be my site that will dig into a little deeper and provide some additional resources and references from the show on the topic and kind of my commentary as well. So that'll be the little bit of the shift. I'll also probably be doing some briefer YouTube videos weekly because I would really love for you to listen to the podcast. That's where a lot of the information is going to be. I'll probably just do some quick summaries of everything if you don't have time to listen to the full episode. But that's it. That is the big news. It is exciting. I hope that you join me. Again, it's the Essential Oils Revolution podcast. New episodes to start September 5th. You can also, again, check out the archives, check out mine and Sam's final episode. The episode previous that one is where I discuss clinical applications of essential oils. You'll kind of get an idea of my way of approaching essential oils. And I have a really cool first guest for you that you're going to love, and a very cool second guest, and a very cool third guest, et cetera, et cetera. So super excited. And again, feedback. This show is going to be for you guys, for my essential oil lovers, for my naturopathic and functional medicine junkies. There's going to be enough information for doctors to learn, as well as for consumers and people who just want to become empowered. I shouldn't say just, and amazing people who want to be empowered. There'll be enough information for you to get what you need as well. All right. So again, the Essential Oils Revolution podcast link will be in the video description. Love to hear from you. I will read all the comments and stay tuned, guys. It's coming. Take good care.